Good morning. I'm just got up and just came out of a dream state. And I was meditating on what's happening now in America with all this wave of fear that's rising up. And I'm literally sitting on the edge of my bed with what I'm about to share. So I'm asking all of you intercessors out there, all those who are in, who have their respective ministries, this message needs to get out this morning and it needs to be understood. And I was going to do this message later today, and the Lord put it in my spirit, no, don't do that, get it out while it's still fresh in your spirit. Going to Hope today, and hopefully the rec center will be open where I'll be able to take a shower. Just, I really need one. But anyway, what I have to say, or come to understand by connecting the dots, is that the Lord may be raising me up as a sign of what is to come. So when I was just waking up early this morning, I didn't get to sleep till about 2 o'clock, and it's only 7:45 in the morning. But anyway, we can see that fear is rising up on the faces of the people. I can see it in the faces of those on television, on the media, those reporting on the coronavirus. I've been watching it. I've been seeing the fear get stronger and stronger in the faces of the people. You know, there's one other time that I've seen this, and that was when the Lord took me up into the Spirit, February 1988, and I was down in Texas with my wife. I haven't met my wife yet. That's going to be a sign to me. We went down to Bangs, Texas I took her down. We went down there for our honeymoon, right? To see the man of God, David Terrell. And that's where the man of God sent me out on a mission. You know, the Lord's personally gave me visions in the past where he sent me out on various missions. 1984, 1986. Okay, guys, go away. Anyway, fear is rising up. Like I say, you really need to pray about this. You intercessors out there, you really need to take this to heart. You need to pray and seek God's timing on what I'm about to say. So we know that this CV thing is causing fear to rise up. We know that the New World Order is making us move to rise up in the earth, right? And in short, what the Lord showed me is one of the signs in the 7 open visions. When I was standing toward the latter part of the visions, I was standing in the ferry docks in Nanaimo. I was on board one of the ferries, and I saw the beast rise up out of the sea. And I saw the fear. The fear was intense on the faces of the people, and fear was I knew that fear was rising up from the south. It was coming up from the south. So what I'm saying, this, what's happening now with this CV thing, is it's leading up to something, right? We know that kingdom against kingdom, that the kingdom of darkness is rising up against the kingdom of light. We know that a revival is coming to gather in the harvest. I've seen that in the visions when I was up in the spirit over Vancouver Island. I looked on Vancouver Island and I could not see any lights. It's like I thought to myself, well, the revival's come and gone, and God's reaped the harvest. He's taken the righteous out of judgment. So this fear is rising up now. Like I say, God may be raising me up as a sign of a greater impending disaster than the CV thing. We know this is being blown out of proportion. There's a lot of fear being generated, and the fear has started. But what if the fear on the faces of the people, what if it doesn't stop? What happens if the fear continues to increase and culminates with the beast rising up out of the sea? I'm hoping that you're able to understand what this picture that I'm putting together. I'm not saying thus saith the Lord on it. I'm just looking at the signs and different things that's happened in my life, particularly with the 7 open visions, where I was sent back to the west coast, to Vancouver Island, to bring forth a warning that the west coast of North America is about to be destroyed, right? That's why the Lord sent me back. So we may be at the early stages of this fear rising up. That was the dominant sign in the visions. When I walked into the newspaper office in Victoria, I could see the fear on the faces of the 3 women that were working in that office. And it was around 7. It was just at the edge where they actually, they didn't receive the warning because they went into fear. They didn't get the warning out to evacuate the west side of the island because they were so under fear. And like I say, I'm not saying this as thus says the Lord. I know God has raised me up to be a prophet for the west coast of North America. And what I'm sharing this morning, the Lord's put it in my heart to share, to bring this out. So this coronavirus may be just the beginning of the fear rising up. In the visions I saw, cash was all but worthless. So that sign is finally, after all these dozens of years, coming to pass, right? The Lord gave me 40 signs in those 7 open visions. And when I look at the dots and connect the dots, things like that, this could be the early warning to prepare for the emergency exodus of the west coast. That means you're going to have to do everything that you can to lift up my hands at this time pretty well, right? In the visions I saw when I was standing outside of Hope, where the angel of the Lord appeared, where Gabriel appeared, in my left hand, the plans for the evacuation, for this exodus of people that I seen coming out, where they left the east side of Surrey. Surrey is just outside of Vancouver. I saw a convoy that was over 50 miles long, and they were fully prepared. And I don't know whether they were Canadians or Americans. I believe that they were both, people fleeing the West Coast. That means Haida Gwaii, Vancouver Island, the Queen Charlottes, all the natives, reservations, different places along the northern coast, they're going to have to begin to prepare for emergency evacuation for an exodus. And, I wasn't going to do this right now, but if I would have done this later, then I would have lost the anointing to say what that I need to share right now. But we could be at the early rising. And in the visions, I saw the beast rise up out of the sea. And if you look at this coronavirus on a wide scale, on a global scale, that's what's happening. And we know that the New World Order is making its move, that the beast of Revelation is making its move. It's rising up. It's rising up, but we know that there is going to be a move of God that's going to come out of this, and it's going to be quick and it's going to be sudden. But what I'm getting to is that you that are on the West Coast in Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, Vancouver, different cities along the Canadian West Coast, just may have to take this, what I'm saying, seriously. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying thus saith the Lord. I'm just connecting the dots. And that it may be that the Lord in his wisdom has chosen me as the sign to get forth a message that the destruction, entire destruction, the total destruction of the west coast of North America, we may be coming into that. And in the visions, I knew that it was the month of April, right? We know that Nibiru's inbound. In the visions, I knew by the Spirit that they were volcanoes blowing their tops in Oregon, Washington State. That was another sign that I saw. Cash was still around, but it was virtually worthless. And this reset is, where they're going to, the CV thing is actually a cover for the reset. And it's more than just one thing happening, right? It's going to cause cash to lose value very quickly. That means if you have homes in the city, and if next April, the April of 2021, is the time of the fulfillment of these visions, then all of you living in the cities across the western United States, in the cities along the coastline, you're going to have to dump your homes. When the CV thing passes through, you're going to have to dump your homes, and you're going to have to prepare for this exodus, for where I saw 50 miles, 50-mile convoy. And when I was up in the Spirit, the Lord led me in on a Zoom, and I was watching this convoy leave. It stretched out from all the way from Vancouver or Surrey all the way to Chilliwack, over 50 miles. I seen every vehicle, and it looked like it was like a real exodus, people fleeing destruction. But the Lord took me in on a Zoom, where I saw 5 miles of transports right in the middle of this convoy. This whole convoy, they were ready, they were prepared. And these ARC ships that I'm working on now, in the visions I didn't see what was underneath the tarps, but I knew that they had their survival. I knew that God is leading them up into the northern regions of British Columbia to relocate there as a place of refuge. And we could be that close. So that's why I'm saying this needs to go out to every intercessor that you can, that you need to pray about the timing of all this. And if you want a copy of the 7 Open Visions, I can send it to you. My one website, I let it go on the Van Quaker Shaker 13. I let that go. I haven't even had time to work on my other website, the Project Goshen website. Just haven't had the time. That's what I'm asking for. Well, I'm asking for one of you guys out there to help me on this. I'm going to need help now. I'm going to need support from the body in every which way, because if if the fulfillment of the 7 Open Visions is going to follow this CV event, that means the fear on the face of the people, what's happening now, it's only a 3 right now. It's only a 3 in comparison to what I saw, what the Lord showed me. You're going to have to do everything that you can to help me. And I'm in the finals. I'll be coming into the final stages of developing these ARC ship plans, right? And it could be what I saw that these trucks were carrying. So it may be that you living on the West Coast may be running out of time. Once the CV thing blows over, you're going to have to prepare for a major exodus. And there's going to be, I saw 3 million people die. And I don't know what the population is on the West Coast of America. But if we're in the early stages of this fear rising up, then you're gonna have to pull out stakes. You're gonna have to take what you have after this thing's blown through, and you're gonna have to prepare. That's it. That's the bottom line. So it's already 19 minutes. I'm gonna get this out. This is Donald D. Taylor. Joshua's the name that the Lord gave me. Coming to you from here in Boston Bar, British Columbia, Canada.